Hey guys, so it is currently the 30th of August and I need to film my wrap up and upload it for you guys before the month is over. Okay, so let's talk about how many books I've read, the gender of authors, and stuff like that. So for starters, I read 14 books, and I gave 6 of them 5 stars, 5 of them 4 stars, 3 of them 3 stars. I gave none of them 0, 1, 2, or 1 star. And in total, 14 books, like I said. And yeah, the total page count that I read this month was 5,273 pages. I read all female authors. I read I think I read one fantasy, a couple of romances, fantasy, romance, and retelling. Those were the genres that I read this month. So I'm just gonna go down the list as I have them written in my book. Okay, so the first book I read, which I don't have all of them, some of them I read on my phone, on the Kindle app. Some I listened to through Libby. But first I read Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is a Peter Pan retelling. So this is a Peter Pan retelling, and it's I think different point of views in this, if I remember correctly. And instead of Peter going to London to get Wendy is actually his daughter in this. And the Jolly Roger is actually a bar instead of a ship. And I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 5 star. I gave it 5 stars. And okay, I am currently editing this video, and I just realized that I messed up on telling you guys what Hooked was about. So let me get it on, popped up on my Goodreads, so I can read you guys the synopsis that Goodreads gives you. Okay, so the synopsis that Goodreads gives you is better than what I would gave you guys. So what Hooked is about is he wants revenge, but he wants her more. James has always had one agenda: destroy his enemy, Peter Michaels. When Peter's 20-year-old daughter, Wendy, shows up in James's bar, he sees his way in. Seduce the girl and use her for his revenge. It's the perfect plan until things in James's organization begin to crumble. Suddenly he has to find the traitor in his midst, and his plan for revenge gets murky as James starts to see Wendy as more than just a pawn in his game. Wendy has been cloistered away most of her life by her wealthy, cold father, but the suspicious night out with friends turns into an intense and addictive love affair with the dark and broody James. As much as she knows James is dangerous, Wendy can't seem to shake her desire for him. But as their relationship grows more heated and she learns more about the world he moves in, she finds herself unsure if she's falling for the man known as James or the monster known as Hook. Hooked is a dark contemporary romance and the first complete standalone in the Never After series. Okay, so that gives you like an idea of what this book is about. It's really good though, so I highly recommend it. Now back on with the rest of the video. I hope you guys like it. And I think I read this book in like a day. That's how good it was. I could not stop reading this book whatsoever. So yeah, so that gives you a little rundown of what the book is about. Yeah. So the next book that I read was Twisted Love. And I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. So this book is a... What is this book? Oh. Twisted Love is a brother's best friend / opposites attract romance with a hint of suspense. So this book follows Alex, I believe. And so, okay, so the little synopsis that they give you on Goodreads says he has a heart of ice, but for her, he'd burn the world. Alex Valkova, I don't know, is a devil blessed with a face of an angel, and that has haunted him for most of his life. His ruthless pursuits for success and vengeance leave the room for matters of the heart. But when he's forced to look after his best friend's sister, he starts to feel something in his chest, a crack, a melt, a fire that could end his world. He knew it. Ava Chang is a free spirit trapped by nightmares of a childhood she can't remember. But despite her broken past, she's never stopped seeing the beauty in the world, including the heart beneath the ice interior of a man she shouldn't want. Her brother's best friend, her neighbor, her savior, and her downfall. Theirs is a love that was never supposed to happen. But when it does, it unleashes secrets that could destroy them both and everything they hold dear. So yeah, so I actually really enjoyed this. I've never read a brother's best friend's romance before. So for me to like something I particularly don't read in romances, that is actually pretty good. So yeah. I don't know why I keep saying so yeah. The next book is The Risk by St. Abbey. This is part of a series I will put a cover on the screen for you guys for this one. I don't know if I'm going to put the one that Goodreads has for it. I might put the omnibus one where it's like all 5 books, because I like that cover better. But I read The Risk, which is the first book in the series. I gave this a 3-star. It was okay. It's just, I don't particularly pick up this type of book. It was a okay, I think it doesn't say on Goodreads, which I wish it did. But I think this is like a mystery romance, I think. I'm not sure. Let me actually look that up real quick. Okay, so this is a adult dark romance novel. Then it also says that it's a suspense / crime and romance book. So I was right about the crime. So yeah. Okay. The book follows Lena, I think, and she is our like unsub. So she kills people, and then she meets this guy, and I don't remember the Logan Bennett. He's a FBI agent, and he's on this case to try to figure out who is killing all of these men. And it's Lena, but he does not know that it's her. And I didn't particularly like this book. I don't know if I'm going to continue with the rest of the series though, just because of like how it ended and stuff like that. The next book that I read though, the next book that I have, I physically actually have this book, and that is Go the Distance by Jen Kalanita. I gave this a 4.5 star on Goodreads. I really enjoyed this one. This is a Hercules retelling, and all of these books have a question to them. This question is, what if Meg had to become a Greek god? So this pretty much just like follows kind of like the book, like the storyline of the movie. Because it starts off with like Meg and Hercules already at Mount Olympus, and Hercules ends up asking his father if he can stay down at Earth to stay with Meg. Zeus says no. And then while Hercules is talking to his dad, Hera ends up talking with Meg, and she realizes, or she finds out that Meg is actually really like in love with Hercules and wants to be with him forever. So she sends her on this quest to find it's either to find somebody or to find a flute, but she finds both. And her quest is to bring this woman back from the underworld to reunite her with Meg's ex and her baby. I'm not gonna tell you if Meg actually does it, because that will be a whole spoiler with this book. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I kind of wish it was a little bit longer so we could get more of like Meg going on this journey, but I'm so happy with like the length that it was and everything that happened in it. I was really happy about that. So other than that, this book was very, very good. I highly recommend any book from this series, especially your favorite Walt Disney movie. But I will definitely be reading this book in the future. Maybe for a spoiler filled reading vlog for just this book. Let me know down below if you want a spoiler for any of these books that I'm mentioning. And I will be happy to reread them and tell you guys all like my thoughts while reading these again. Okay, so the next book is Straight Outta Mourning by Liz Braswell. I do not have the dust jacket on this, so I'm going to have to like put a picture so you guys know what the cover looks like. But I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. This was really good. I'm happy with the length of it. This is like 488 pages. I'm glad of like everything that happened in this. So this question for this one is, what if Wendy first traveled to Neverland with Captain Hook? And it just follows like her journey going to Neverland for the first time with Captain Hook. So if you like Peter Pan retellings, read this one, read Hook, and also read The Never King. I read that one last month. So yeah. So if you like Peter Pan retellings, read this, read Hook, read the Never King series, read all of the series. I'm currently on book 2 of the Never King series. But yeah, so I will probably do a spoiler-filled reading vlog for this one. And tell you guys like my thoughts while reading it, my reactions while like reading it. But I won't be doing it for like months. Because it's not going to be accurate if I do it like in a couple of months, because I still will probably know what this book is about. So I might do it maybe sometime in 2024, maybe sometime the end of 2024 or beginning, or if not 2024, probably 2025. The next book is actually a romance. Actually, the next 2 books are romances from the same author. But next is P.S. I Like You by Casey West. This follows Lily, and she ends up scribbling down lyrics from a song in chemistry class on the desk. And then the next day, she goes back to class, and she sees someone has written a response to her like little lyrics. So she ends up having a pen pal in chemistry that she has no clue who it is until she finds out that it's actually some guy she cannot stand. But this was really cute, and I highly recommend this book. This book or any of Casey West books that I have read. I've only read like 5 books by Casey West, and I only have like 4 Casey West books. So that's this one. The next one is The Distance Between Us by Casey West. The Distance Between Us by Casey West. This follows 17-year-old Cayman Myers, and she learned early not, like the rich is not to be trusted until a customer's grandson ends up coming into the store to pick up a doll that his grandmother bought from Cayman's mom's porcelain doll shop.
Thank you so much for your participation, Adrian. Now I'll be
And Cayman runs the register at her mom's shop for her after school. And it was, I thought this book was really cute on like the relationship between Cayman and Xander. And okay, so for P.S. I Like You, I gave that a 4-star. For this one, I gave it a 5-star. It was really good. I really enjoyed this book, honestly. So I will definitely be picking up probably more of her work that I don't own. So I might actually ask for more Casey West books for like Christmas or like my birthday next year. But other than that, I highly recommend Casey West books. They are so easy to get into if you are in the mood for romance. The next book I actually do not have. I listened to this book on Libby, and that is Monster High by Lizzie? It's either Lizzie or Lacey. I think it's Lizzie. Harrison? I gave this book a 4 out of 5 star. I think, yeah, 4 out of 5 star. It was good. It's just, I think it's because I'm getting older, and I read this series in like the 4th or 5th grade. I was around like 12 or 13 when I read these, and I'm currently 19. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. I will be continuing on with the series because I only read the first 3 books in the series, and there's 4 in total. So I think next month I will be reading the second book, which is called The Girl Next Door. Okay, the next book is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, and I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. It was a really good Hades and Persephone retelling. And I will definitely be reading more by Scarlett St. Clair. That's, I think, all I have to say about that book. Other than what it's about. The book follows, I think, I remember that it follows Persephone, and she wants to go, and she goes to a school. The school is in New Athens, and she wants to learn like she wants to go there for she wants to become a model journalist, and so while she's there, she makes a bunch of friends. Her and a couple of her friends end up going to a bar, and it's actually forbidden for Persephone to go. It's a forbidden nightclub, and she ends up playing cards with Hades, so she ends up being under this contract, and the contract is to make life in the underworld, but Hades is not specific on how. So I believe that's all that like this book, or maybe this whole series, is about. I know I want to read this series as like the author recommends you read them. So the next book I have to read for that one is A Game of Fate. So yeah. But the next book is Twisted Games. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 star. This is a bodyguard romance. A forbidden bodyguard romance, I believe. I know it's about bodyguard. It's like a bodyguard romance. And this follows... Okay, guys, so I figured out who the main character is. Her name is Bridget, and she is part of like a royal family, and she ends up getting assigned by this elite bodyguard named Reyes Larson. And she ends up falling in love with him. So it just follows like that. And so she has to return back, and eventually she has to turn back, like not turn back, but like return back to like her kingdom, because she's gonna have to eventually run it, because she only has her grandfather. So yeah. But I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. It just wasn't like my favorite out of the 2 that I've read from this series. Okay, the next one is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This book follows Tate, and she meets airline pilot Miles, and she knows it isn't love at first sight. They wouldn't even go so far as to consider themselves friends. The only thing Tate and Miles have in common is an undeniable mutual attraction. Once their desires are out in the open, they realize they have the perfect setup. He doesn't want love. She doesn't have time for love. So that just leaves the sex. Their arrangement could be surprisingly seamless as long as Tate can stick to the only 2 roles Miles has for her. Never ask about the past. Don't accept a future. They think they can handle it, but realize almost immediately they can't handle it at all. Hearts get infiltrated, promises get broken, Rules get shattered, love gets ugly. I gave this a 3-star. It wasn't my favorite Colleen Hoover book I've read, but it was still good. The last 3 books I physically have them. The next book is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I'm not going to tell you what this book is about because this is the last book in a series, and you guys should already know what this series is about. But I did give this a 5 out of 5 stars. It was good. I believe this has to be one of my favorite J.K. Rowling book I have read in this series. Yeah. The next book is Never After, The 13th Fairy by Melissa De La Cruz. This book was actually good. I gave it a 3-star though. It wasn't my favorite. This follows Philomena Jefferson Cho, and she lives in a small California town, and one day she ends up being followed by Jack Stalker, one of the heroes in Neverland. A book series she loves. She might be dreaming or still reading, but Jack is insistent he's real. The stories are real, and Philomena must come at once. Soon she is thrust into a world of fairies and princesses, sorcerers and slayers. When an evil queen drives her army to erase the fairy tribes to save the kingdom, Philomena must find the truth behind the tale of the 13th fairy before the cycle is destruction begins again. So this book was good. Like I said, I gave it a 3-star. I will be continuing on with this series. There's like 4 books, I believe, in this series. Actually, let me see if I can actually look and see how many books is in the series total. 3 books, actually. No, 4 books. Yeah, 4 books. But yeah, so I recommend Melissa De La Cruz's writing. I only read this one, and then I read The Isle of the Lost and Return to the Isle of the Lost. So her writing is pretty good. The last book I read was Part of Your World by Liz Raswell. This is the Little Mermaid retelling. I gave this a 4 out of 5 star. It was really good. So this question is, what if Ariel never defeated Ursula? It was a bit confusing, like, starting to get into the book. It was a bit confusing. But as I got into it and I could, like, see, like, what was going on, like, I could, like, visualize what was going on in the book. It wasn't as confusing as it was when I first started to read this book. But yeah, for it to be 475 pages, it was very, like, action-packed. not very action packed, but there was a lot of things going on in this book. And I just overall thought it was very interesting. I will definitely be picking up more by Liz Braswell. The only other 2 books I've read by Liz Braswell was The Straight Onto Morning and the Curse of Dark. No, not Curse of Dark. Only As Old as Time. So I'm definitely going to see like other books from the series that she has written. I know I have 2. I have the Sleeping Beauty one, and I have the Aladdin one that I have not read, so I will definitely be picking those books up sometime soon. But other than those, that's the only other 2 books I have for the series by Liz Braswell. But I do want all of the books by the Twisted Tales series eventually. But yeah, so that is all for this video. I hope you guys liked it. Comment down below what book you guys want me to make a video about, and I will definitely do that for you guys. And comment if you've read any of these books. Yeah. But other than that, that is it for this video. I will talk to you guys in my next video, which will be my September TBR. So I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.